Anyway,
I'm in
came
the
down.
basement right now for pretty much the same reason. I have like my
Oh,
makeshift little my sheet is like covering the boxes of shit in my house.
I
Yeah. So
love
I
it.
got like this makeshift like studio because
Oh, totally. I I totally get it. I totally love it. And I was just like, this will be the best area to just come and chill. And so she just like right before I get ready to call you, she comes down here and is like, Dad, can you turn on Miraculous? Because Maurice wants to watch something else. Even though they both have their own like little tablets,
mm-hmm.
they like want to watch it on the TV. Just as an argument, like
Yeah.
nothing more. You know all about that. So
Oh yeah. It's been interesting. I'm sure anything I say you're gonna completely agree with. The past like 8 weeks of our lives, like
oh,
so it's you and the wife and your 2 kids, and you've been home like the middle of March is when you guys were in California. So tell me about what happened. You were already in California and then they were like,
totally.
no, you got to go home.
Totally. So we flew home from Aspen, and we came home for a couple of days, and things were kind of ramping up about the coronavirus. I was starting to get a little more worried about it, but it was what it was, you know. So we all flew in to LA. A few of us went out to eat at a restaurant in LA. On not wanting to admit this, my wife watches Vanderpump Rules, and I also have you heard of this show?
I have. I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
So it's based on I watch it with her, and it's based on like a restaurant. So we went and ate at that restaurant in LA.
Okay, cool.
Come back, hang out. Everyone's talking a little bit, you know. Go to sleep, wake up the next morning in San Diego on the bus. And Andy had actually sent a text that was like, how are we going to play shows? And I was like, what do you mean? And at that point, the governor had canceled anything 250 or over, 250 people or over. So mass kind of, we just kind of all, you know, we have the band bus and the crew bus, and we were on the crew bus and talked to Bob, our guy, and I was like, dude, we're not going to be able to play shows. And he's like, is that what it is? And then we look in the email. Management had told us no shows that week. And we were just kind of, you know, bummed and scared and frantic and everything all at the same time, you know, because now we have to get back on flights. And like now it's like real, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we don't find anything else out. You guys, I mean, we find stuff out a couple of hours before and announce online. Like Red Rocks, we didn't know about until announced online that we were not going to be able to do those shows, and any postponements, like the postponement of the summer camp festival or the postponement of our California shows that we were out getting ready to do. That stuff we don't like. It's kind of like a last second call, and I applaud our management team for being able to kind of handle stuff as it's thrown at them, because it's unprecedented for all of us, right? But those guys are just like working nonstop, in my opinion. Just kind of crushing it. So it's kind of where we were. It's where we left off. We all hugged. Some of us flew home from San Diego. Some of us rode the bus back to LA, flew home from there. We all got home that night. Coincidentally enough, it was a Thursday, and Maurice, my youngest, my son, his second birthday was that Friday, so I was here like when he woke up. He was pretty pumped. He still has no idea that it's his birthday, unless you tell him. But he was pretty like pumped up that I was home because I had left the day before. So
right,
it was cool. It was really cool.
Something to be grateful for.
Totally.
In the midst
totally.
of the chaos.
Absolutely.
Which is exactly what we all have to do right now to get through. So talk about what it's been like being home and it's definitely different for you.
It is.
So how's it been going?
I mean, it's been going okay. We've been sheltering in place, having groceries delivered. As a matter of fact, I just got, I just got a notification because we're having them delivered here in a couple hours.
Nice.
Um, Having groceries delivered, doing as much, or as minimal contact in stores as possible. Marlo is 100% working from home right now, my wife. And then I also have to have so I'm also watching the kids. Their daycare is open, but I'm not sending them, of course.
Right.
So I'm also watching the kids and trying to let her get work done. And they're at 2 and 4, so they just want to fight for attention and each other. And it's like, most days is welcome to be able to hang out with them, but toward the afternoon or later in the week, I'm just kind of over it. and
Yep.
Just, yep, you guys, whatever you guys want to do. I try to get them, make sure they're cleaning up after themselves during the week. Come Thursday or Friday, I'm like, yeah, go ahead, destroy the living room. I just don't care. I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing. I was on a pretty good workout and weight loss regimen before any of this, and I've definitely put on what my friend Robbie calls the COVID-19. Put on some pounds and I've gotten back into it this week, working out and back on a nutrition. But it's tough. It's tough, and it's like a blessing and a curse. I get to spend so much time with my family, which is awesome. And I love being here every night. I love talking smack to them. Bath time is hilarious. We do they'll do baths and what sometimes for something to do, we do baths.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of Disney soundtrack stuff around here. So I'll have a little JBL clip that's hanging in the bathroom for when I showered, but it's really came in handy for, I'll just start blasting a song and then run in there while Marlo's already in there watching them, and they'll stand up in the bathtub and start jumping up and having a good time. And it's just you're finding ways to do stuff. We bought a couple new board games this week.
Nice.
We play outside as much as we can. A lot of sidewalk chalk. Our yard looks amazing from Marlo and I, and just trying to stay sane, watching live streams or any type of music that we can. Just probably the same things you're going through, Sarah, except we don't have to homeschool, because our kids are young enough. Ophi and I will go through some math stuff and some letters and stuff like that, but that's kind of as far as she is. So we're not having to homeschool. I've seen some cool memes that are homeschool going well, teacher fired for drinking on the job and get suspended for fighting and all that good stuff.
That's been really interesting, is having to homeschool them. And I personally already explored homeschool in the past, so it wasn't something that I wasn't completely capable of, but being thrown into it, not really having a choice, oh, this is what you're doing. And my daughter's school is taking a very interesting approach with it. They've only sent review work. She's in 3rd grade, and they've only sent packets that it's continue to write to keep your skills sharp, but there's nothing that's graded. So yeah, it's really interesting how they're going to handle that. And my oldest is in 10th grade, and so obviously for him, I mean, my daughter's pissed, but mostly because she can't play with her friends. That's her biggest thing. But my oldest, he was on the track team. He's on honor society. I mean, you got dances and end of year stuff. You're in high school, and so like he just got his learner's permit, like he was going to get his driver's license pretty
Uh-oh.
soon. So like he's had a bunch of stuff where he was just super bummed about it. And so for him, like I feel like that's been like the hardest thing is he's 16. I mean, he's pretty much an adult. You know, he can read the news and he knows what's going on just as much as I do. So, which is an advantage and a disadvantage, because it's nice to be able to have conversations with him. But at the same time, it's like he's still a kid. You don't want him to read all that stuff, but he's doing much better. And his school also very interesting. They're just basically doing a pass fail. So if you show up and you do whatever work they send, watch the video, answer the questions, then you pass the class. If you don't watch the video, answer the questions, then you fail. And he's kind of pissed about that too. Like,
Understand.
I mean, especially for someone like him, like I said, he's on the honor society. He's
Super smart kid.
Oh yeah, amazing grades. He's already had so many colleges send stuff to the house. I mean, he works his ass off. And so now it's like this, and it's like, so what happens next year? Everybody just moves ahead. It's very interesting how that aspect is going to be handled in New York State, because I have friends in other cities in the same county, and their kids are doing like 6 hours of e-learning or graded whatever. So that's very interesting to me. How are we all going to get on the same page with education and where to move the children in the fall?
Right. And I've heard quite a few like different instances on what schools are doing from elementary to high school based on, we have a pretty wide friend group. So it's just crazy to me, I've seen a big thing going around on social media about post photos of your senior year of high school. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, does that kind of like make the seniors more like upset because they're not like getting all this like they didn't get to go to their prom, or they didn't get to go to like whatever they're into, I also feel bad, I'm a pretty avid sports fan, so I feel bad for the seniors in basketball, in college basketball, or high school basketball, college basketball, because the seniors, do they get like another year because they didn't get to finish out a season? Or, high school, do those kids get to come back and play, or will they want to? Just insane to me. Nobody knows, like there's no time frame on what's going on. It gets super political. I've had some pretty big arguments with some of my friends about it, and some people take it serious. Some people are more concerned with the economy, and I'm just I think your guys' governor's handling it great. I think our governor is doing a great job as well. And it's just like there's a lot of misinformation out there as well, and there's two sides to every coin. My little Native American buddy, Britches, Steve, works with us, and he's sent me this thing the other day that made perfect sense. It's like he said the right and the left wing come from the same bird. So it's super true. He said it to me before, but him sending it to me really made sense. And like, I've literally like lost some friends because our viewpoints didn't match up. We agreed to disagree. Some stuff just kept coming in, and it was just like, it's a huge bummer, and like takes a toll on me. But at the same time, like I have to have some type of sanity in here, so if that's what it takes for the time being for any of that to go down, then that's what it is. And I try not to get too political in anything. I've made one political post on Facebook or any social media my whole life, and it was kind of more of a joke. So I try not to lean into that. My dad taught me you don't talk about that kind of stuff or what you make or religion, really. So I try not to do any of that stuff as much as I can. Friends who I know share the same points of view with me. I talk to them more often about it.
Right.
But I don't want to like argue with people about about it, because in my opinion, we're all kind of, everybody's trying to do what they can to what's best for their scenario, and every scenario is different. Just like, look, your kids live in the same house, and I understand they go to 2 different schools, but they're like, one is doing one thing, one is doing another thing. And it's just like, I think everybody's doing kind of what they can and just waiting to figure it out. I can tell you that I'm super excited for when live music returns and when I can be back on the road. Whether I have to wear gloves to high five everybody when I see them and a mask, like, I'm cool with that. I just want to get back. And like, I miss my brothers from the road too. It's like, those guys are my family. As much as we clown each other, like, those are my guys. We've been doing the band and crew. We've been doing quite a few Zoom calls, clowning each other, of course. Bob Stone had a birthday last week, so we all, or a bunch of us, jumped on a Zoom call and we're talking to him. And so it's good to see everybody, keep in contact with people. And it's a tough time. So some people are isolated with their families, and we're all like, we're going slightly mad, right? Some people are isolated alone, and they're like, I wish I had people to be isolated with. Kind of like grass is greener on the other side type deal. As much as I say, like, my kids are going to make me pull my hair out, I wouldn't trade them for the world. I'd maybe rent them off for a couple hours to a responsible adult, but I wouldn't trade them for the world. And I'm glad that I'm kind of quarantined with the people that I'm quarantined with. So
yeah,
good. And thank everything that we have, social media, and people are willing to still do live music. I know Jack Johnson did this festival last week, like a Kokua festival, and it was like an uplifting experience. He had a bunch of people on there, like Eddie Vedder was on there, a guy who had opened up for us a couple shows out west last summer, Ron Artis, the second, was on there. Super nice guy, and he's really good as well. Just like, it's really good to see it come together. Why Not is a huge hit. It's so much fun. It's the one night I want to make sure my kids are in bed before I can get to things. I love watching Joel do his thing. And Andy Frasco does some crazy shit. The Big Something guys have been doing some cool stuff. So it is what it is, It is what you make of it, and just try to figure it out.
Yeah, and that's really all we can do. And like you said, it's been amazing to still see everybody doing music the way that they can, even if sometimes, I know there's been guys that are a part of Andy Frasco's band that'll just pop on live and play music on a Sunday morning or something, and you're like, oh, hell yeah, like, I'm gonna make my breakfast and listen to this. And if I guess we're gonna be quarantined for God knows how long, at least we have the technology to
and those guys are same deal. Like, they just want to play music as much as we want to see music, and so or as much as I want to go work, and so they're just gonna pop on and like jam, and it's really cool to be able to do that stuff. I'm also a fan of Fish, so whenever I can, I turn on the Tuesday nights. I think they do a dinner and a movie of like a past archival release, and like, I try not to look at the set list, so I'm surprised and like just having a good time. We do Monday nights, so it's just it really, like, making the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, that's all we can do right now, and just keep moving forward, especially when you have kids. You have to keep that not being fake, because I mean, my kids are older, so our conversations are obviously different than what you're having with yours, but I'm honest with them. When everything happened, I was just like, I don't know what's going on either, guys, and I don't know how to handle this either. So
and my conversations are mostly with Maury is just like, starting to piece sentences together, so he doesn't care. But Ophi will be like, you know, why can't I go play? Or like, she doesn't want to go to daycare. So she's like cool with staying home, which I use as like a, do you want to go to daycare? As like an empty, because I would never send her. But we've just told her that there are people who are sick, and like, we're just waiting for the world to get better, you know, not a lie, but also not trying to like tell her some things that she can't comprehend. And it's also been like a struggle there too, you know, like some things she doesn't comprehend, and she's so smart that I talk to her sometimes like she's an adult, and then like she's just like giving me a look like, and so I'm like, oh, yeah, like, I forgot you're 4. Like, I know you talk like you're 15, but you're 4.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
how so I wanted to ask you this, and I hope this isn't out of line, but I wanted to ask how why do we change the name? Like, what happened with the podcast name? Did we just want to be more broad and open it up?
Yeah, that was basically the reason. It was more to make everybody feel more included. Even though I had a bunch of people on the show that were not parents, it just felt like if the name was more inclusive, then people would feel like they were more included. And it, you know, it had a great response.
Totally.
And there were a couple different ideas that I had, you know, had them like written down, and I don't even know what version it was of Haji or when I heard it, but it was playing one time, and I heard Dropped Among This Crowd, and I'm like, that's it. Like, that is it. It's perfect. It just explains everything to me personally. So
I thought it was a great name, and I figured that that's what it was. I also figured that if we were going to do this interview, I was like, I'm sure people don't ask Sarah questions often, so I want to ask her like what her like why this happened. And I've been a huge supporter of this podcast, and try to keep stuff on the table, on the merch table, as much as I can. Or, you know, some people I'll hear like, man, I wish I could be more involved, and I'll tell them to tune into your podcast. And then like it's easier now actually, because I'll just reference Haji and be like, you know, in Lyrics in Haji, they'll be like, oh, that's a great name, and go on about their day. But so I'm glad that it's a broader base. Have you talked to anyone else? Has anyone else is everyone kind of in the same boat, you think?
Yeah, everybody is totally into the name change and loving it. And first of all, like, just, you are amazing. And I was thinking about this when I was looking and listening back to your interview. You were on episode 4.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and I just released episode 99 yesterday. And the show will be around, it's like this weekend. It's 2 years, which is just blows my mind. It's like gone that long and people are still listening. But you've been just like right all about it from the very beginning. And it means so much to me, and I just love you anyways. But to have that to have that support and this little project, and to be able to talk to all these people and just bring these stories and connections to this community and beyond. I know there's people that have listened that aren't Humphreys fans. You know, there's been certain episodes that they've listened to, and I think it's amazing. And I'm so grateful for you and everybody else that's just been interested and supportive, and it's just such a really cool thing. And I'm so glad that I'm able to work on it.
I'm personally glad that you're able to do something like this, but I know that we've had chats about it in with band and crew guys, and I think everybody's kind of on board and stoked that there's something like this out there. It's not you know, sometimes things on social media can get negative in any kind of light, you know, but like oh, the band played a shitty whatever version of whatever, you know, and there's nothing but positivity that really comes from this. And like, I like it. I listen to this pretty regularly. I like it when you do recaps. It's just like, it's great. And I'm super grateful, as I'm sure all the guys are as well, that you're around and doing this and keeping things positive. And, you know, like even at a time like now, like no one has any excuse to tell you they can't do it. So, unless they're like raising multiple kids, then I totally get it. But luckily my wife's home. We're able to work through it. And it is what it is. Sarah, I applaud you because you have 3, right?
Yeah. It is ridiculous. And my husband is still like he goes to work every day. Yeah. So he works Monday through Friday. He works 12-hour days. Oh. So it's been interesting around here, but we do what we do. And honestly, having this show has kept me sane the past 8 weeks. Like seriously, it's given me a creative outlet. It's given me an excuse to connect with my friends and people I want to talk to. And so for that right now, I'm especially grateful for the show. It gives me something else to do that's not taking care of everybody all day. And so I'm really grateful for that. And that's always been my intention, is positivity, you know, and there's enough crap in the world anyways, especially now, but even before. And I know that when I go to an Umphrey's McGee show, the purpose that I'm there is to see my friends, listen to great music, forget about garbage for a little bit, you know, just have a good time. And that's what I wanted the show to be. I wanted the show to just be someplace where people can come and listen to, you know, people talk. And yeah, we talk about real stuff, but not in a negative way, and not being nasty toward people or whatever, because that's not what this is about. It's not what Umphrey's is about. It's not what the community is about. And this is just an extension of all of that. And it makes me so happy to hear that everybody is, you know, likes it. So
yeah, totally on board. And it's a great thing, and spreading positivity, especially at a time like now, is really something we need. And you know, like I'm just holding on one stick at a time, you know, doing what we can. And just kind of, I just can't wait to get back out and get to work. I never thought I would say that, but like, I love my job so much that, you know, I just, like, I was so bummed when like I realized the depth, like the magnitude of how big this thing is going to be. And so like, I hope we can get back sooner over later, you know. It is what it is. I'd rather everybody be safe than you know, us get back to work, as would, I know, the rest of the organization and the rest of the music industry in general. But you know, there's pretty creative minds behind a lot of the scenes, and I'm sure they will figure out a way to get some things moving back along, you know. I have a feeling that our industry, amongst like the entertainment industry, will probably be some of the last to get back going, which is a bummer. But like I'm pretty like positive in my own mind that things will at some point get back to how they were, and this is just like a small curveball, you know. It's insane. It is insane, like what is happening to people right now. Yeah. And you know, people are losing their minds, and just I'm grateful that I still have my work family and we still connect. And then I'm also grateful that I'm able to be home with my family. Like I FaceTime with Drew, who's our guitar tech, super good looking guy. So Drew, if you watch this, remember I said that. But like I'll FaceTime with him, man, and he'll just like, he's kind of a softie like me, and he'll be like, bro, I love you, I miss you, and like it makes you almost want to tear up, and the same goes with the band guy, and just our whole organization has been like that. Zoom calls we're getting pretty good at those. We do Friday night fashion. So if you yourself would like to turn in, Ophelia, my daughter, 4-year-old, does a fashion show on Friday nights.
Nice.
That's about a half hour. A lot of delay in there because we're changing up, but it's like something for us to look forward to right before bath time, right before bedtime, right before the why not. Like Friday is like a progressive day for us, so just like trying to figure stuff out to do. I know I have a favorite like artist who does sculpt painting, and he started offering these like paint kits, and then is doing a live video this Saturday right during nap time, which is really cool. So Marlo and I are going to try to like, I received it earlier this week, and we're going to try to like do the live painting with him. It's probably not going to be anywhere near as good, but he gave you like tools and the acrylic paints. It's like really thick acrylics, and you can use your hands and like just anything to do, I thought for a while there was only so many times I could play the Dora Candyland, but we've been on it. I told you we got some new board games, and we're crushing those. We play a lot of hide and seek.
I saw your post yesterday.
Yeah, Opie was like, Dad, should we make a video because they're taking a really long time? We're hiding really good, and I was like, we totally should. And we just went into the garage, but no one's gonna think to look in the garage. So I was like, good call, Oaf. Like, this is awesome. So we team up, like it'll be her and I, and then Maury and Mom. And Maurice is a dead giveaway because you could be like, Maury, are you downstairs? And he'll be like, yes. And you'll hear sometimes Marlo will like try to cover him up, so you'll hear him up like, and he's like, you're like, oh, he's downstairs. And so I've been trying not to do that as much and cheat, but Ophi is a huge cheater, so she'll be like, Maury, are you downstairs? Maury, are you upstairs? Yeah, what room? In Sissy's room. Okay, thanks, bud.
True big sister fashion.
Absolutely. And so, but they, as much as they fight as well, like they've been super great about everything as well. Mm-hmm. On rainy days, like today is a rainy day. On rainy days, they'll stay inside and not pass for us to go outside. But when the sun's shining, you best believe they're going to be like, hey, can we go outside? And, that's just, I've been watching them more because Marlo has a lot of work to do. And luckily, she's able to work from home. So she's kind of taken over my office and is working from home. And I try to do my best to keep them out of there and just like so she can concentrate and just focus on hanging with the kids, which is it's great. Like it really is great. I'll complain about it, but I'll complain about anything. Sometimes they like annoy the shit out of me, and I'm just like I like want to pull my hair out, but like again, I wouldn't trade those kids for anything. I just heard them yelling up the stairs too.
Mine are doing the same thing, and I was feeling the same way. My daughter, I love her so much, but she just talks so much all the time. And I'm like, girl, just take a breath. Like,
totally.
Just give me 5 minutes, please. I'm not asking for a lot. But she just, the whole time. And yesterday I was just like, honey, I'm going upstairs. Like, I can't.
Like,
I just can't.
Go. I can tell you this, I've gotten a lot better with discipline. Because I haven't, like, I've kind of like just let them kind of do their own thing, make their own choices, unless it's going to hurt them or something. Right. But like I told you, like Monday through Wednesday, Thursday-ish, I'm like, no, we're cleaning up the living room. Like, go put this in your room, Coincidentally, they have this room down here, the basement down here. right? Which is kind of, you can see it's kind of all
Oh yeah.
like kidsed up, right? And then over here it's kidsed up as well. And then they have a room upstairs where they go to daycare. Their rooms are colors, right? So coincidentally enough, when we moved into this house, Ophi was in Red Room, and she was playing a lot, which is in the name of one of my favorite tunes, an Humphrey standard, and which is like she was playing like a lot of Teacher and Baby, because she was seeing this at daycare, and so we still to this day call it Red Room. And it's like Marlo says it's called the living room, and the family room is where like you gather to watch TV. But I always thought it was the opposite. I always called the living room where the TV was, and like it's like your living area, but I don't know how it really goes. Anyway, it's like the book reading room is what I would call it. But that's another playroom that they have. And so each night I'll be like, like Marlo does Maurice, and Ophi and I will stay up and hang out together. All right, we have to clean up and put this stuff in Red Room. And it's just like a natural thing to say Red Room. It's funny because like you would think it's an Humphreys reference, but it's not. It's Ophi calling it Red Room because that's what room she was in at the time. But and she's been really good this past week with threats of me taking toys away if they're not cleaned up. And that's kind of been my discipline pattern. For Maurice, he still doesn't like understand as well. So his discipline pattern is I'll put him in his room for 5 minutes in his crib, and he gets kind of pissed. But like, I'm like, I've never spanked them yet. Like, I don't know how. I've wanted too many times, but I haven't ever spanked them, and so like I don't plan on it. And I just put him upstairs, and taking toys away from her are the two most effective things we can do right now. So we kind of just let that go at it. So
hey, and if it works, because that's the biggest thing I've learned with 3 kids is anything that worked with one is not going to work with the other one. So if that works for them for now and what needs to be done, then do it. Because you have to find what is going to matter to them. Because my daughter's biggest thing is, right now, before it was playing outside with her friends, but now it's being able to Zoom her friends. And so it's like, I don't want to take that away from her because she's connecting, but at the same time, when she starts to get into that mouthy mode where you're like, you need to check yourself right now.
Right.
Like, you're not 25 and we are not at the bar. You need to check yourself. Like, you have to be like, hey, you're not going to be able to be on the computer today and talking to your friend. And for that she's like, oh, okay.
And you gotta I've found that you kind of have to hold firm, or they just will be like, okay, and they'll agree to it, and then just do the opposite.
And they'll whittle you down.
Totally, man. Sarah, Ophi especially, Maury is getting into it, but Ophi especially plays me like a fiddle. She's she plays me like Jake or Brendan played the guitar really well, and just manipulates the shit out of me. And she's like, we've always told each other we were each other's best friends. She'll be like, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna take her favorite baby away for the rest of the day. You can have her back tomorrow. She'll be like, Daddy, we were best friends. And I'm just like, I have to text a couple of my friends fuck, am I doing okay? Am I a bad dad? Or Marlo, I'll be like, Marlo, was my tone okay? And she'll be like, your tone was amazing. You're doing a great job. And I'm just like, I need reassurance because I don't want to be an asshole dad.
Right.
I also don't want to be let her walk on me too much, So it's man, it's just a constant evolving thing. As you know, you've been through it a lot longer than I have. I'm learning as I go. And I actually texted Brendan the other day, and I sent a photo of, like, it was Sunday, and I just wanted to, like, I was having a terrible day, and I sent a photo of Homer Simpson choking Bart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, this is me today. Like, not really, but like, this is how I feel. Like,
Mm-hmm.
does this make me a bad dad? He was like, no, not at all. It actually
Nope.
really makes you a great dad. Like, so, just to have, Robbie has a girl and a boy, similar in age difference, a little older. So like Robbie can tell me, like, that's another thing with these guys. Like, we're a big family, in the guys in the band who have kids, in the guys in the crew who have kids. Some of them have raised their kids and they're graduating college, and some of them have kids younger than mine. So it's just, you can get all kinds of perspective on things. So it's just like, it's great to still be able to connect with them, and to have Zoom meetings, and have just like, just people around, and for just anyone. I know I could hit you up at any time, Sarah, and be like, Sarah, I'm going crazy over here. You'll be like, what's going on? Because I know, like, you have experience in a lot of situations here. So I'll be like, they did this. You'll be like, oh shit, I remember when they did this. This is what I did. I might change something. This is what worked, like, just a bunch of different scenarios. So just using outlets, and especially during these times where you're all kind of cooped up, like rainy day, we're not going anywhere. You know what we might do? We might, like, load up in the van and just go on a ride through, like, a little town on the outskirts of Peoria where we live, and we've done that a couple of times. And it kind of, like, getting out of the house is kind of, whenever it's nice, we try to walk or play outside or whatever, but getting out of the house every day, like, not coming into contact with anybody, but just getting out of the house has been so key for us. And it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. And so, like, I'm hoping for everyone that everything kind of goes as smooth as possible. I can't believe your hubby has to work 12-hour days still.
Yeah, well, he is the manager in a paper mill, and they make cardboard boxes.
They can't
So
stop.
he's essential as hell right now.
Yeah, totally. He, by the way, Sarah, you can take this out of the video if you want or not, but he is one of my favorite people, and one of the most soft-spoken, and one of the kindest vibed people that I've ever had the encounter of meeting. Just such a nice guy, and, like, you must be a really good fisher lady because you caught the best. So, like, he really is, like, near and dear to my heart. And like I said, he's soft spoken. He doesn't talk a whole lot, which is the opposite of myself. But he
Me too.
and your daughter.
Yeah.
And mine. But he is just so, the things he says, because they're so few, are just so meaningful to me, and they're always so kind, and like he's just got the greatest vibe. And so, like, you're super lucky as well to have him, because he is my biggest term of endearment is calling someone a G. He is a G.
He really is.
100%.
He is an amazing man. I am very grateful for him, and especially now during all of this, even though he is working and obviously, taking care of that piece of having to care for a family of 5. He's doing what he can to still be there for me and show up for the kids in the way that he can. And he really is. He's an amazing man, and I am very grateful for him. So.
I just, he's he has never been anything but kind and sent off anything but kind vibes to me. And he is just like so awesome. And you know, my wife is a saint. I don't know if she knows how to be rude to anyone except myself if we're in an argument, which is like our biggest argument is what color are we going to paint the bathroom. We just redid the bathroom. What color are we gonna paint that? What are we gonna do here? What are we gonna do there? But I don't think it's like hear all that wrestling there. I hope that's not the delivery lady. My wife is, I don't know if she knows how to be mean to other people. And so like she's so sweet. Like and so like his traits also remind me of hers. She's very soft spoken, doesn't speak a whole lot. But it's just like when she does say something, it's super kind. And like it's I know Ophi is my best friend for sure, but it's super nice to be married to your best friend. And I know you feel the same way. And it's like, if we're gonna be quarantined, why not be quarantined with our peeps, you know?
Yeah, that's how I feel. And I think that it's also been interesting and awesome at the same time, because it's brought us together in different ways. And you know, being married is work regardless. And then you throw being quarantined in there, and you know, you're gonna have days and moments and things like that. But the difference is that you're willing to work together on it and say, okay, this is what's going on, or this is how I'm feeling. Or so I'm grateful for that too. In a weird way, you know, it's brought us together in a better, different way, and helped us maybe, you know, work on areas that maybe we needed to pay attention to, or things like that. So it's
totally, because like it's like the whole world for me was constantly just like I didn't have time to think about a lot of stuff. And I feel like sometimes when I'd be at the merge table, even at work, I'd be thinking about the next day or the biggest show we had that week and what I was going to do there, and kind of would seem distant, or at times felt like I was like being a dick. So the same thing, it's just because your world is constantly turning, right? And like I'm just trying to think ahead and thinking of this. But now like the world has stopped. And although it's like, well, like I can't go to work, things are way different. We can't go do this, like we can't go out for dinner, or like every now and then we would do a movie night or something. We just can do that at home now, and like we can concentrate on areas of like talking to each other, or like areas of just like hanging with each other instead of having to go do something, which has been, you know, any type of area that needed to work, because a marriage is work, is that type of like, it's been great for that. And so like I try to be optimistic as much as I can, you know, the glass being half full. I really hope we can get back out as soon as possible. I'm also going to take the time to cherish and hang, not only with my kids, but working on our marriage is a constant work. And it's not in any way, I don't mean that it's in any kind of like jeopardy or anything like that, because we're still, realistically, we are still best friends, but there's always something you can work on, some area you can work on. And so just trying to do that, like the paint thing together. I guarantee you, like I'm probably gonna like throw some paint at her just to be funny or something, you know, just to try to make her laugh. But it will push her buttons, and I know this. And like, so now that I said that out loud, maybe I shouldn't do it, to not push her buttons, and maybe I'll end up being the one that gets to eat paint or something like that, you know. It's just, I trying to be as optimistic as I can. It's a tough time for everybody, you know. Again, like I said, a lot of politics being involved, a lot of, you know, a lot of stuff happening, and like I love every one of my friends on a level there, and so like disagreeing with people is super hard. Sometimes agreeing with people is hard as well, but just maintaining, pushing forward. Can't wait to get back out. Can't wait to hear some more review shows. And I'll be damned if Aspen, in that tiny ass venue, is the last time that I work a show for Humphreys McGee. That's not happening. So I can't. When we do come back, I feel like it's just going to be an emotional night.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be, people are going to come from wherever to try to go there, and I think it's going to be just amazing, and until then we'll keep having, good Joel on Wednesdays and Brendan on Fridays and the band on Mondays, and just crushing it.
Yeah. And everything that they've been doing with their lessons and all that. Like I did Friday, we celebrated Mindy's birthday with Ryan and Joel, and that was so much fun and seriously felt like a little therapy session in a way. We were all just, shooting the shit and spending time together. And I did a chill session with Jake, and like that was awesome. And I know people that have done lessons and how much that has been great for them, but then also to help them in their dreams and what they're going to do. And I mean, so that's such an amazing thing that's come out of this is that whole thing for them, and all the other artists that are a part of that. But especially for the guys in Humphreys to teach, and I'm sure it's just as good for them as it is for the people that take the lessons and
absolutely
stuff too.
Absolutely. I know for a fact that Jake is super pumped on it, and a couple of my buddies have taken lessons and they're like, it's just go time. I'm like, well, have you ever seen him play the guitar? Of course it's just go time. And like the Ryan Joel chill sessions, like Ryan is one of the funniest guys I know. I hope he doesn't watch this and see that. And Joel is definitely one of the nicest people I know. So like when you put those two together, like Joel's comedic side comes out, and like Ryan tends to like jab at Joel a little more, but Joel will just like fire back. But he's like so nice about it that it's just like they work so well together, and you could tell why they've been able to be in a band and sustain for what 22, 23 years now. So it's just like those guys they're great, and our Zoom calls are always hilarious, and it's just like it's awesome to be able to talk to those guys, and I try to text with the guys if I haven't heard from them or if they haven't responded to our group text. I personally, just the person that I am, try to check in, like, hey man, how are you? Haven't heard from you. Hey, are you doing okay? Like, what's going on? Hey, do you like this Bulls documentary? Which, by the way, is super dope.
My husband started watching it last night. He
so
was upstairs after work and started watching it. I knew he'd be like super into it.
It's so great. And my wife, who is not super into sports at all, she was like, I can't believe you're watching the Jordan documentary without me. I was like, what? Because we watch almost everything together, right? This is one of the things that I can watch. Like, if I have 45 minutes, I can watch this real quick. And I was like, what? And I was like, okay, I will stop right now if you can name me 3 players that played on any of the 6 championship teams besides Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen. And she was like,
got nothing. I'd be the same way. I'd be like,
she went out, and then she came back in, and like I was watching the end of one. She was like, Dennis Rodman. I knew Dennis Rodman. I knew who he was. I knew who Steve Kerr was. Like, I knew him, and I just like.
She went out in the hallway, and she's like,
she's totally fun. Yeah, or like it says their name at the bottom on the thing, so she's like, oh, I knew him, and I'm like, okay, I get it. So,
that's funny. Yeah, that sounds like just an exact exchange between my husband and I.
Totally. It's like it's just playful stuff, So
yeah.
Oh, Sarah, I love you and I miss you.
I love and miss you too. I can't wait to hug you.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
been like my biggest thing. Like that's when we started talking about Iceland because we were kind of on the fence before it was actually announced because we're like, we got 3 kids and like what if we get stuck in another country because all this shit goes down while we're over there, and like I was getting all worried about it. And so we were like, do we really even want to go even if they do still do it? And I'm like, well, honestly, I wouldn't want to because I wouldn't be able to hug my friends. Like there would have been, some kind of worry at that point. And it's like, well, even if they do, I don't know if I want to go because I'm not going to be able to high five people the way I want to or hug them or, be next to people if I was worried. And
Totally.
that's been like my thing. I just can't wait to hug everybody.
Right. Once everything is smoothed out, and I truly do believe it will be, and it might be a while. We might be talking another year before things get back to normal. I hope not. Like, I really hope not, but it's just nobody knows. I saw Sturgill Simpson posted what I thought was the best sum up of the virus thing, and he said that nurses told him when he went to get tested, because he had tested positive, but nurses told him the most that anybody knows is that nobody knows a whole lot about it. And so, hopefully it is a virus that is, some type of maintainable, although right now it doesn't seem that way, and it will pass, it won't mutate, and things will start to get back to normal or a new normal where things are I just want things to go back to how they were. I know they're not going to, but like, let's get close. And that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing. And like, I'm really like, I've sheltered in place for so long now and stayed in for so long that I'm fully, even though sometimes I'm hypochondriac and I'll clear my throat and I'll look at Maura, I'll be like, oh no. And she'll be like, we're clearing your throat, chill out. But like, oh, here they come. Maybe they'll make an appearance before we leave. I just heard Marla, do not go downstairs.
Oh, I hear him.
Yeah, Maury's trying to bite her. Opie, say hi.
Hi. I love your dress.
I'm not done. I'm just trying to hide from Maury.
No, she said she loves your dress.
Are you done or no?
I am not done, but it is okay.
It's okay.
Maury, do you want to come say hi? Come on, say hi.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
How are you?
Chilling.
Shy? Can you blow her a kiss?
It's okay.
Say hi, Sarah. No. As soon as we hang up, he'll say bye, Sarah. So on this note, I think this is as good a time as any.
Yeah.
Let's get back to normal. I can't wait to hug you. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask me.
Same.
Chill out, guys. All right.
I'm here if you need me.
Much love to you.
Take care.
My love to the fam as well.
I will.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.